Hello, everybody. Welcome to Betway's Rated to Win. We're at the beautiful, as you can see, the beautiful Mount Edgecombe Country Club. What a lovely backdrop. It's so peaceful and weather's lovely here in Durban. And we look forward, of course, to the big day, the iconic event, the Hollywoodbets Durban July. Now, you ask the question, who's the most important man on the racecourse or person? Punter, owner, breeder, trainer, jockey? For me, it's the punter. Without the punter, at the end of the day, whose finances the sport? So the punter's been around for a very long time, and two gentlemen that know it very well as the chairman of the KwaZulu-Natal Punters Association, Irvan Naidoo, whom it's lovely to have on set. Irvan, welcome. And thank you for taking the time out, Irvan. Thank you.
Yes, I'm honored to be here and representing the people. Let's try and get some guidance for them.
And of course, as you'll remember, I'm sure, Selwyn Elk, the most popular man in racing when it comes to reminiscing. You go back to the late 60s or 60s and 70s and you talk to Selwyn about the likes of Elevation, the likes of Colorado King, the likes of Sea Cottage. I mean, I wish I was around in those days, Selwyn.
Yeah, it was good. Changed a lot over the years, Clyde, but everything else has also changed, I suppose. Those were the good days.
And there are a couple of things. I mean, you started up with the Racing Mirror before Computer Form came about, and then, as I understand it, Computer Form bought you out. Do you want to just tell us about that?
Yeah, in about 1975, they bought us out because they had the turf guide in Joburg, and we had there was only two photo form books allowed in Durban, was Duff's and ourselves. So for them to get into Durban, they bought us. So then I worked there for about 3 years after that.
And Duff's guide was around at that time, wasn't
Duff's was the other book, and then Duff worked with me at Computer Form.
Yeah.
But he was already getting old.
Yeah, I can imagine. And Irvan, you started in racing as a child, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I started very early, Clyde, and it's been a tough journey, and it's getting even tougher now. But we're progressing, and we're trying to keep the sport alive and keep it going for those people that are out there, that really love this game and just not ready to quit or to give up right now. So yeah, it's a tough sport, but we're managing to keep it alive and get it going thus far. So we hope we can do justice to the punters and help them, give them the guidance that they need. It is really difficult July this year. If you look at the computer form, the best weighted column is not filled in. Yeah. So it just goes to show if the handicapper is having a problem to fill in the best weighted column, it's going to be a difficult one for everyone to bring it there and narrow it down.
Yeah. Well, I want to go back if I can. We'll talk about the current July in a minute. Selwyn, if I can talk to you about, Sea Cottage's story is just unreal. People that have only come into it now don't know that the Durban July favourite was shot.
Yeah,
he survived the bullet, but he was shot.
In 1966, it was actually quite an ironic story. There was a club in Durban called the Monaco Club, and all the chaps used to congregate there, in the night and that. And there was a bookmaker called Sonny Chislett, and he was a bookmaker at the time, and he came to the joint the one night, and just in passing, he said, if Sea Cottage wins the July, that's me going, because he stood it for a lot of money. So one of the chaps sitting there, one of the puzzlers, he said, well, the best way is to shoot the horse. And that's how the seed got planted. And then between a couple of them, they did it got shot by the Mbani River. They couldn't get the bullet out. It died with the bullet in it, in the rump. But the ironic part about it is the horse was owned by Sid Laird himself. And even up till today, with anti-post doubles, if a second leg is scratched, you lose the money on the first leg. So at that stage, there was a lot of big doubles going forward onto Sea Cottage in the July. So at that time, I knew Sid Laird, not well, but I knew him, and he said, they basically took a chance to run it because otherwise they would have, all the doubles going forward they would have lost their money. And then it ran fourth, but strangely enough, his other horse in the race won, Java Head. And then obviously the following year when it ran in 67, it dead-heated with Jollifer.
Okay, let's talk to Irvan now about his favourite moment when it comes to the July itself. I'm sure there are a couple that have fond memories for you, Irvan.
Yeah, Clyde, some of the fond memories was Yard Arm. It was a big hype at that time. Mark Khan, during the course of the week, was talking about how good Yard Arm was. He compared it to his compressor Mercedes and stuff like that. One of the reasons Yard Arm, to my opinion, got beaten was the pace of the race. The reason I bring this up is that is going to be very important in everything. The punter has to realize that if the pace of the race is not right, anything can happen, and that's when you can get the spooks or the dogs coming in. The horse that really made me some money was Eye of the Tiger from the Canamia stable. I really liked it. I tipped it, and it was nice tipping families and friends a winner for the July. On that note, I just want to let the public know about you guys. I'm happy with the way the show has been going. When the show started, we've had a lot of complaints and stuff like that, but you're not going to please everyone in the room. Sure. And the thing is, we're here to guide the people. It's appreciated, the amount of time that you guys put into looking, surveying, and trying to guide the public in. And that's what's going to happen for our guidance here. We're here to guide the people, but there are a lot of variables that takes play on such a big day like this. I mean, if you look at computer form, the fact that they don't have a best weighted column is the best handicappers are battling to find the best rated horse in the race. So it's going to be difficult for you and I and everyone else to actually find the best rated horse. But we're going to do our best from what we know, what we've studied, and what we heard about. The little bit that we do know is what we're going to use to guide the public.
Yeah, it's a conditions race, handicap with conditions, basically.
Yes.
So I just want to go back. I talked to Selwyn quickly about, just for me, Terence Millard in the time just sort of owned everything, really. One of my favourite or fond memories of the Durban July was when Illustrador, that horse Illustrador just had such an unbelievable turn of foot.
You mentioned that horse Illustrador. It ran over 1,200 metres in a progress plate in Cape Town, and it finished unplaced. It came to Durban, it won the Hollis over 1,200, its next start. Then it won the 1,900, then the July, then the Gold Cup.
Correct.
And he did that with more than one horse. Occult was another one. Yeah, he was a master. But, just saying what Irvan's talking about, how hard the game is. I was very friendly with Martin Skuman when elevations time. And on the Monday morning, we picked him up to go to the gallops. And a couple of weeks before that, because Martin was also quite a naughty boy, he'd had a bit of a fallout with Azzy Stable. So in the interim, they put Roy Curling on an elevation that Martin had won on previously, and Martin rode Riberville. So after the gallops, we were coming home, and he said, you don't know how upset I am that I've got to ride Riberville in the July and not elevation. So when the horse won, firstly, at that time was Racing Marathon, and I had a lot of people following on that, and they all had the needle. They thought maybe we never told him, because they knew I was friends with Martin, that we never told them about Riberville. And contrary to stories what you hear today, in fact, I read one the other day, that the stable said, Riberville was working well, and, it was unexpected. I mean, it wasn't unexpected that it won. It so happened, I think, went from 20-1 to 33-1,
sure.
And Martin won the race.
Yeah.
And the strange part about it, he was saying to us that when he hit the front near the subway, he thought, he's going a winner. He said, in the next minute, a big grey horse came flying past him. And as it came past him, he realized it hasn't got a jockey on. It was Tom Ratley. Tom Ratley had fallen off, but he didn't know, obviously, because Jamaican music had come from behind him.
Yeah.
But there, just goes to show you, there's a jockey riding a horse on the Monday, upset that he's not riding the favourite.
Correct.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, up until today is the easiest July winner.
Unreal. I mean, so the highs and lows of racing. I mean, that's what it's about. You don't know where you are, whatever the case may be at the end of the day.
Correct.
And look what happened. He ended up being disappointed in the beginning of the week. End of the week, he had a great celebration.
Correct.
So I just want to, it's great to have you guys on. Yeah, I just want to say we could reminisce and talk horse racing all day and night, all of us. But the 2024 Hollywoodbets Durban July, Irvan, have you had a look, and how are you playing? I know you like your exotics.
Yes, Clyde, I like my exotics a lot. For me, I'm a pick six and jackpot person. It was rather difficult. We're going to try and narrow it down to a few runners. Okay, for me, Royal Victory is one of the runners. I mean, when last have you heard of a Natal horse going to Joburg and schooling the guys in Joburg? It won 2 races beautifully. So it has to be a big runner. I really like Barbaresco. Barbaresco is my horse for the July for a few reasons. I was at Sogo Sun Sprint at the beginning of June. Clyde, you was there with me. We spoke to Rakesh, and he was quite confident on this. And for the fact that for a jockey to to come down from 57 to try and make the weight of 53, it's a big thing to us, and the jockey will not do that if he didn't give the horse a chance. It just gives me more confidence to know that he was doing that. But I really like the run in the Daily News, and on the weights to the run to the Daily News is still is better than the other horses that really ran in the Daily News. So my horse is actually for the July is the first choice is Barbaresco. The other horse that I do like is Oriental Charm. I think Oriental Charm as well, with the heavy weight, it did win a very good race. And he's better off on the weights if you look at it to some of the other horses like Future Swing. Now, for me now, if you look at the handicapping and the rating, the first thing I look on a race like this where there's no best weighted is I look at the sufferance of the horses. And I'm a big Richard Fourie fan, but I think Future Swing, it's under sufferance, 4.5 kgs is a lot. I'm not saying he can't do it. Richard can pull rabbit out of the hat.
He's had an amazing season, Richard, hasn't he?
You know what? As far as I'm concerned, I think what Richard is going to do this year in terms of breaking a lot of records is it's not going to be broken. And we wish him all the best. And a big Richard Fourie fan. I really hope he goes to win a lot more as right up to Gold Cup, because that's when the season is going to close. But for me, Richard is not in my first 4 year. I really think he is a runner, but not on that. And the other horse that I like is See It Again. I do like See It Again. Yes, with a little bit top weight, I give See It Again a chance as well. From the outsider, I like a little bit of Son of Raj as a dark horse. But the real dark horse I like is Without Question. I backed the horse last year when Richard rode it. And I think, give it another chance this year, more mature, and also we might get a first female jockey that will win the July, and it'll be a nice thing. So to sum it up, those are my horses in the shortfall, but the race doesn't stop there.
No, it
we
doesn't,
can go and we can make a case for every horse here.
Right. It's an open race.
We just have to pick a few to guide the public, and those are the ones that I have picked, and I think. But also you can't leave Sean Terry out. He's got a chance of winning the trainership, and if he wins the July, it's basically, it guarantees him a better chance of winning it. So as another outsider, Future Pearl, you have to throw Future Pearl in. I think from his runners, I like Future Pearl more than Cousin Casey. For me, Cousin Casey, I think maximum is 1,600.
Right.
So those are the horses that I'll be playing around.
Thank you so much for that. And don't forget, you've got a quartet carryover. So there's a 15 million rand pool. You can take some of Irvan's info. So just to wrap up with you, what do you like?
Just about what Irvan said, it's like we were talking to each other. I like Oriental Charm. I thought that was my first pick. And then See It Again, Green with Envy, and the same roughie as him, Without Question.
Yeah.
And Clyde, I've always said that July's a type of race. If you run it every week, you'd probably get a different result.
Yes.
There's so much luck in the running. Anything can happen. That's just on the day. But if I had to pick one horse, it would be Oriental Charm.
Thank you, Selwyn. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Irvan.
Pleasure.
We really appreciate your time.
Pleasure.
And we wish all of our viewers great stories of the past. We'll try to do it again and dig in deeper and find out more about it, because it's such wonderful stories. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. The Betway Waiter to Win show.